Hello, everybody. Uh, First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Marvin Laster. I'm the CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of Albany. And I want to thank you for joining us today for this important town hall meeting. I hope that you are all doing well and staying safe. The COVID-19 pandemic has created some unprecedented times for our communities and especially our clubs. It exposed and, quite frankly, exacerbated many of our challenges we face daily in Southwest Georgia, but yet we're still here. And there's two words that I want to share with you that are synonymous with Boys and Girls Club, and that is hope and opportunity. We have hope for a better tomorrow, and we're focused on creating better opportunities to ensure that our young people are able to realize a future that may have been once unimaginable. I ask that these meetings be scheduled for two distinct reasons. One, I wanted to give you an update on the our operations since March 13th. And two, I wanted to gain your feedback and thoughts on how we can better serve the kids, your families, and the community in the days and weeks and months to come. Your feedback is important to us as it will help us better inform our board, who will make the appropriate decision about how we better serve your communities. And so with that being said, I want to encourage you to, as this meeting goes on, you have opportunity to participate in polls or to provide your feedback in the comment box. We definitely absolutely want to hear that because this will help us, like I said, make recommendations to our board about what our next steps are in Macon County. So let me get back to my first point of why I call this meeting. One, I want to tell you what we're doing. March 13th, our board of directors made a very difficult decision to shutter all of our operations as our region was being hit with the COVID-19 pandemic. We actually had a plan and we executed part of that plan in that we laid off all of our part-time staff. We laid off over 40 people. And we also had a plan to lay off all of our full-time staff. Our board decided that as long as we were able to provide meaningful opportunities for our young people, that we would be able to retain our full-time staff. And so I'm very proud of the work that our full-time staff did, including Zante, who is based in Macon County, and reimagining our total operations. Our staff came up with ways to ensure that our young people were staying connected, staying safe, and staying engaged with our club and our club staff. And so we went to a virtual format, and they were producing content every day for kids where they could go on at their own leisure and access programs and activities, or they could participate in live programming that was done every day with our service unit directors. We also created an opportunity for virtual college career fairs where kids who were maybe interested in going to college or technical school or technical college at some point, they were able to interact with admission officers from some prestigious schools. We had Fort Valley State, Albany Tech, Stanford, Duke, University of Georgia, Georgia Tech, Harvard, Yale, and even the University of Alabama to participate in these virtual college fairs. On Thursdays, we had a virtual career fair. Well, we kicked it off with Dr. Condoleezza Rice, former Secretary of State, Dr. Condoleezza Rice. And we also had three-star General Leslie Smith for the United States Army to participate. We had one of our club alums, Shannon James, who was the CEO of Aerotropolis in Atlanta, and others that participated to interact with our young people, to let them know that they could be and do whatever they wanted to do and help give them some insights on how they got to where they are today in the world. We also did something called quarantine parties, and we put an emphasis on the word teen. We spelled it T-E-E-N. So quarantine was actually a derivative of the word teen. So we were throwing parties and that kind of stuff to make sure that our kids were still engaged. But we realized that even going with a virtual format, that there are still some connectivity issues, and not everybody has internet capabilities or the internet capacity to stream. And some people had technology challenges. They didn't have the equipment that they needed to even be able to access those. So we started working to figure out how we could better address that. And we started purchasing tablets and laptops for our students and hotspots and that kind of thing. So those are some of the things that we've been doing to keep young people engaged. Later on, you're going to hear from Anna, who is our area director, specifically for Macon County and Sumter County. And she's going to tell you about something else that we're working on as we get prepared for the upcoming after school season. And this is the purpose of this meeting. And so, again, you're going to hear some exciting things that we want to work on. But for us to have a comprehensive plan about how we best serve your young people for the upcoming school year, we got to absolutely have your feedback. And so I hope that you will take this opportunity to provide it because we are committed. Boys and Girls Clubs of Albany has been in business. This is our 55th year of service. And we've understood a lot of challenges in those 55 years, from devastating floods to tornadoes to hurricanes and now a global pandemic. We haven't gone anywhere, and we're not going anywhere. Our commitment to the Macon County community is just as strong as it was from the beginning. And so I want to assure you that we're here to stay and that your feedback is important to us. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to our Chief Operating Officer, Ms. Sherry Maxwell, who's going to give you some more insights about some of the policy developments that we had to do to ensure that we're able to serve the young people. So with that being said, Sherry, take it away.
Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. We're having some technical difficulties there. So give us just a moment. But while we work those technical difficulties out, I am going to jump ahead and mention that announcement that Marvin had mentioned to you all just moments ago. So not quite yet, but probably in about a month's time, we will be rolling out our new Great Futures Academy. So as Marvin has mentioned, we know that this pandemic, of course, brings new challenges to us. And we want to be a part of the solution for you all. And of course, be there to support families and the young people who need us most. And so in order to be able to fill that gap, we know with students going to school virtually or not attending in person as often as they normally do, we know that families will likely need extra academic support to help their children be successful. So we are currently working on getting tutors from some of the premier universities and colleges across the country to be able to assist our club members with their homework virtually. And in addition to that tutoring piece, we also want to reinforce academic enrichment through fun, engaging literacy activities, hands-on STEAM projects, a number of things that really can be done both in person and virtually. So stay tuned for that. In about a month's time, we will be rolling out the Great Futures Academy. But in the meantime, we want to update you on those COVID-19 policies and procedures and some of the things we've done. So we're going to go ahead and see if we've resolved the technical issues and pass it back over to our Chief Operating Officer, Sherry Max.
All right, sorry about that. So I'm assuming that you guys can hear me now. Okay, so thank you guys for attending today. We greatly appreciate it. What I want to do is talk to you about all that we've been doing to prepare to reopen. So the plan that I'm about to share with you has been reviewed by Department of Public Health, some of the senior leadership at Phoebe, the Dougherty County School System, the rec department, and others. We wanted to get as much feedback as we possibly could because safety is a priority. So we must keep our members, our staff, and anyone who enters our building as safe as we possibly can. So as you know, we've had guidance from a number of folk. So the CDC put out guidance early on, which was a decision tree. And then the governor put out guidance on, and as an executive order. It was much more comprehensive. And so we started with the decision tree and just determined, could we answer yes to all of the questions in that that document, and we were able to. And so then we went to the governor's order, which was a 39-point order, and just started to determine how we could comply. Not could we comply, but how we would do that. And so that then required that we develop protocols and policies that we would put into effect to ensure safety for everybody. So some of those policies I'll review with you. Certainly, if you have any questions at the end, please, we can have a dialogue about those. But so we will provide daily health screenings for members and staff. That includes a temperature check and a respiratory symptoms check prior to entering the building. For families, the checks were done from the car. So parents are not allowed to leave the vehicle at our club. We have a cleaning and sanitation protocol where we are wiping down hard surfaces in between activities. And then we are doing deep cleaning in the evenings. We bought foggers so that we could disinfectant fog a greater area. We have re-engineered our buildings such that we've moved tables, we've moved chairs, we've moved desks, we've commandeered the gym so that we could mark off social distance. So when we are providing activities and programming for our kids, we are making sure that where possible, they are able to social distance. We have policies that require that staff who have symptoms stay home. If they're sick, stay home. We will have a like policy for members. If your child is feeling sick, that child will need to stay home. We will isolate members. So as we monitor throughout the day the health of our members and staff, if anyone becomes ill during the day, they will be isolated. So we have isolation places in each of our sites that will open so that those people can be isolated from the greater population until they can be picked up by their parent or a significant other or whatever. And in programming, we are limiting commingling. So what that means is the class that starts together stays together. So if we have a class of 10 with a teacher and a YDP, that class stays together all day long. You know, typically we would rotate, and we have eliminated that rotation to the extent possible. We are ensuring and promoting hand sanitizing and washing. So we're not only requiring it, but we're promoting it, we're teaching it, we're making sure that they know how to do it. We have protocols on pick up and drop off. So again, there's no leaving the car for either pick up or drop off. So each car has a number. When they put the number in their dashboard, when we see that person appear, we call their kid and send them out to you, as opposed to the parent or the person authorized to pick up coming into the site. Use of PPE. All of our staff wear masks the entire day. Kids wear masks when they can't social distance, though I think we morphed to wearing masks all the time just to get the practice in of wearing masks. We have a COVID-19 exposure plan that would tell us when we need to close a site. So one of the things that I monitor is the number of positive cases we have in the area. I also monitor positivity rate. So what is the rate of positive of all those who took the test? Death rates and all of those things that are put out by the CDC and frankly now by the White House, so that we know when it's no longer safe to be in the club. So we are prepared to pivot at any moment to go from in-person to virtual. Meal service is done in the room where they are doing their programming. So we have bagged meals. Before we had a buffet style in Macon County. I think y'all might have had bags all along from Second Harvest, but the meals will be served in the same room that they do their activities in. We're limiting the amount of belongings that a member can bring to the club. We discontinued contact sports. So we won't have any sports that are like basketball, for instance. Because there's too much touching of the ball and too difficult to sanitize those in between touches. So every kid has their own set of supplies for the day. So we don't share supplies either. We are also training our staff. I have trained our staff on these protocols. So I think that gives you the gist of what we've been doing. And we have tried it out. So we opened for the summer with limited capacity, limited sites, limited staff, and it worked incredibly well. So we tweaked the protocols as we went along to make sure that they were doable and sustainable. And so we have done that. But some of the things that we will consider as we plan for reopening at other sites are things like the hours. What hours should we open? Capacity. How many people can we safely have in the building and still social distance? What programs will we run? So we got to make it interesting because kids are sitting in front of a screen all day long in some instances. And I know in Macon County, they will only be in front of a screen certain days of the week, but we have to make sure that our program is incredibly engaging. And again, safety is our priority. I'm happy to go into any further detail that you need. So at this moment, I'll take questions if you have any. Questions will be done by putting the question in the comment box on your Facebook page. Anna will then read the question and I will answer. So again, I'll take questions now if you have any. If your typing is like mine, I'll give you a few more seconds to see if we'll have any questions. I'm happy to take questions throughout this presentation, so you don't have to feel like you have to ask them now. If something comes up and you want to have a safety or operational question that you want to ask, you are welcome to do so. All right, being respectful of your time, not seeing any questions, I will turn it back over to Anna to continue on with the presentation.
And Ms. Sherry, we did just have a couple of questions. I know we did have some initial audio issues here as well, so some of them may have already been answered. But our first question is, how many kids will we take, or how many kids will we be able to take?
Across the organization in Macon County?
In Macon County.
So we have said about 60 would be a good number for us. You know, our building in Macon County is huge. So we have huge opportunity, but we also have to be mindful of the staff to member ratio. As we experienced in Albany, we had to help kids learn to wear masks, help kids understand our protocols. And so we increased the staff to member ratio so that we could do that.
Great. The next question that was asked is, will there be temperature checks?
Yes. So the daily health screenings will include a temperature check, and anyone with a temperature of 100.4 will not be allowed to enter our building, or anyone who answers yes to the symptom check questions. These are all in the CDC guidelines for reopening.
Great. The next question we have is 2 questions. So the first question is, what will the hours for the Boys and Girls Club be?
We'll see. We're going to ask you some stuff about the hours. You know what our typical hours are. But again, in this situation, in these times, we need to be nimble. We need to understand how we can best serve the community. We need to make recommendations to our board about what's feasible. So we're going to be asking you some of those questions today.
And the other question was, will the bus be operational?
Our bus is operational. However, we're going to talk about that as well, because it becomes more difficult when the schools are not open. So it depends on what you say about attendance and the hours and who will send who where, all of that. But we do have buses and they are available to run, but we are not a transportation company. So we have to be as efficient as we possibly can with that. And maybe you can help us solve that problem. We need to know how many people can bring their kids to the club. So we want to do what we can do to ensure that as many kids who want to come to the club are able to do so.
The next question we have is, how many staff have been hired?
We are not hiring staff right now. We're calling our staff back. So we believe that we have the appropriate staff. I also have been recruiting in the background. So I also have some other people who are willing to work for us. Of course, you know, they have to go through the screening process, but our main objective is to get our folk back to work.
Okay, great. I think that is the bulk of them. And then again, as Sherry mentioned, we are going to ask you questions now, and many of the questions you asked us are actually correlated to those. So we are looking for your input to help guide us in some of these decisions. So without further ado, then we will go ahead and start the polls. Thank you very much, Sherry.
You're welcome.
Okay, everybody. So on your screen in just a moment, you will see the original slide that we had here when we first started our town hall. And from there, we're going to go in and explain to you how to answer the poll questions to make sure that we are accurately counting everybody's responses. We'll stop and ask for questions again to see if anyone has questions specifically about how to answer the polls. And then we're going to go ahead and start asking you all for feedback. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so how to answer the polls. So in front of you right now, you see our sample poll question, which is a statement saying, I live in Macon County. And then there are 2 options for answering. You can either reply yes or no. So what we need from you all to make sure we're counting the yeses and nos for the proper questions is to go ahead and put the name of the poll or the number of the poll in the comment box on Facebook before you type your response. So for example, the first poll is the sample poll. So when you write your answer, please first write sample poll in the comment box. And then you can either write out the word yes or write out the word no, or simply use the number for the response. Again, this will help us to accurately record responses. If you only enter the number, it will be hard for us to go back and tally and see which poll you are answering. So again, please make sure you put the poll title in before you put your response. Also on this page, you can see that we have the comment section on Facebook, and where the green arrow is pointing, where it says write a comment, simply put your response in that comment box. And as Sherry mentioned, we are taking questions throughout. We will do our best to respond to everybody, but any questions or statements you have for us can simply go in that Facebook comment section. So we're going to go ahead and practice. So again, this is the sample poll. So for your response, please type sample poll first in the comment box, and then indicate either 1 for yes or 2 for no if you live in Macon County. So for example, I'm going to enter in the comment box. You would put sample poll and then put the number of your response. You take a look at the comment section, you'll see the example. So we're going to give, for each question, we're going to give about 1 minute for everyone to go ahead and enter their responses. We know sometimes internet can be lagging and the broadcast is not necessarily timed perfectly with real time. So we're going to give everyone about 40 more seconds to answer the sample poll and see if anyone has questions about how to answer polls. If you have just tuned in with us, welcome to the Macon County Virtual Town Hall. We are currently practicing how to respond to the polls. So right now, to answer the sample poll question, simply type sample poll and then either indicate 1 or 2 to answer the question. See a few responses coming in. Very good. Thank you all. Looks great. We've got about 10 more seconds on the clock here before we transition into our first question. All right, great. Let's go ahead and jump into the first question. I didn't see any questions come up in the comment box, but again, you're welcome to enter questions at any time. Our first question for you all is, are your children currently members of the club? So go ahead and enter poll 1 in the comment box and then your answer. Are your children currently members of the club? And as I said, we'll have about 1 minute to respond to each poll question. We've got about 30 seconds left on poll number 1. Are your children currently members of the club? Go ahead and type poll 1 into the comment box and then your response. All right, we're down to the last few seconds for this poll, so go ahead and get your responses in for poll number 1. Are your children currently members of the club? Okay, moving along to number 2. If programming is only offered online via webcam, would your children participate? Again, please indicate poll number 2 before your response. So if we only offered online programming via webcam, would your children participate? Go ahead and enter poll number 2 and your response. Again, this is the Macon County Virtual Town Hall. We are soliciting feedback from the community to help us determine what services we can best provide for Macon County youth during this time. We have about 30 seconds remaining on poll number 2. Go ahead and take about 10 more seconds to get your responses in for poll number 2. All right, last call, poll number 2. Would your children participate in online programming via webcam? Yes or no? Okay. On to our third question. We do have 9 total questions for this portion of the town hall, so we're a third of the way. Poll number 3 asks, if the club reopened for in-person programming only, would you send your children ages 6 to 18? So again, to respond, go ahead and type poll 3 in the comment box and let us know yes or no if your children would come to the club for in-person program. So again, if you're just tuning in, we are currently asking for feedback from community members. We are asking a number of questions. To answer a question and have your voice heard, please make sure you write the poll number, so poll number 3, and then answer yes or no for this question in the comment section on Facebook. We've got 20 seconds remaining in this poll. So take about 20 more seconds to enter your response to the question in the Facebook comment section. All right, last call for responses to poll number 3. Would your children attend the club in person? 1 for yes, 2 for no, or you can spell out your response. Okay, we're going to move along to our 4th question. So when school is not in session, such as a teacher's workday, would you send your children to the club for a full day of program? So this is something we've historically done when schools are closed. Depending on the holiday, there are days when we are open for what we call a full day, like an 8:30 to 5:30. So if you would send your children to the club for a full day on a teacher's workday or other holiday, please enter 1 for yes, 2 for no. Again, make sure you type poll 4 before entering your response in the Facebook comment section. Again, we are looking for responses to poll number 4. Would you send your children to the club when children are out of school for a full day of program? 1 for yes, 2 for no. We've got about 15 seconds remaining on this question. All right, last call for responses to poll number 4. Let us know if you would send your child to the club for a full day of program when school is out, for say a teacher's workday or other type of holiday. Okay, we are moving along to our 5th of 9 questions for this section of the town hall. With school going virtual, would you still send your children to the club for in-person after school programming? So when children are maybe going virtual, or even if they go to school in person for their 2 days of the week, regardless of the day of the week, would you still send your child to the club for in-person after-school programming? If you answer no, that you would not send your child to the club for in-person after-school programming, if you feel comfortable sharing with us why not, that would certainly help us. So if it's a lack of transportation, maybe you want to self-isolate at home. If you answer no, we would love to hear why not. If you feel comfortable sharing that with us, you can also send it to us as a direct message on Facebook if you don't want it to be public. So again, we want to know, would you send your children to the club for in-person after-school programming? Simply type poll 5 in the comment section and your response. If you would not send your child to the club for in-person after-school programming, we'd love to hear why not. Go ahead and enter that into the comment section, or you can send us a private message on Facebook. We're going to take 10 more seconds before we move on to question number 6. Okay, so our next question, if school buses are not transporting kids to the club, are you able to provide your own transportation for your children to and from the club? If you can provide your own transportation, go ahead and indicate yes in the comment section. If you cannot, go ahead and indicate no. Again, if there are ever questions that you would like to answer privately, you're welcome to send us a direct message on Facebook rather than answering in the comment section. So if you are just joining us, this is our 6th question. And we are looking for Macon County feedback and responses. So to answer a question you see on the screen, we just ask you type the poll number and then your response in the comment section. If you want to answer privately, you are welcome to send us a direct message on Facebook. All right, 10 more seconds before we move on to number 7. Okay, so if the club were to offer a half-day in-person program, let us know what your preferred hours of operation are. 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., 3 o'clock p.m. to 6 p.m., 3:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., or 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you have other times in mind for a half-day program, you're welcome to go ahead and type those times into the comment section. So again, we want to know, what are your preferred hours of operation for a half-day in-person program? So again, for 7, we just want to know your preferred hours of operation for a half-day program. You can go ahead and select one of the 4 options on the screen. If you have another time that you prefer, go ahead and enter those times in the comment box. All right, we're going to take about 15 more seconds to answer poll 7. So just let us know what your preferred hours of operation are for a half-day program. You can select one of the 4 options on your screen, or if you prefer, go ahead and enter your preferred times in the comment section if they are not listed on screen. All right, last call for answers to number 7 before we move on to question 8. Okay, this is our second to last question in the poll format. So for number 8, we want to know for a full day in-person program, such as a teacher's work day, what would be your preferred hours of operation? We have 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m., 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., or 9 o'clock a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. Again, we want to know your preferred hours that we are open at the club for full days. Go ahead and select one of the 4 options on your screen. Or if there is another time that better suits you that's not listed, please go ahead and enter that into the Facebook comment section. So again, poll number 8 is simply asking, what are your preferred hours of operation for a full day program? You can select one of the 4 options on your screen, or you can enter a different option if it is not listed on the Facebook comment section. We're going to take 20 more seconds to get responses from poll number 8. Then we're going to move on to our final poll question, followed by some open-ended questions for you all. Again, thank you to everyone who's joining us today. Your feedback is extremely important to us. Okay, our last poll question, that we do still have a couple open-ended questions for you all. Poll number 9 wants to know, for virtual programming, select your preferred program time. So if the club was to go virtual and not offer in-person program, what is the best time for you for us to offer that? We have 2:30 to 4:30, 3 to 5, 4 to 6, or 5 to 7. Go ahead and let us know in the comment section your preferred time for virtual programming. So again, we want to know what is your preferred time for virtual programming. Just as with the other questions, you can select one of the 4 options on your screen, or you're welcome to enter a separate time period in the comment section. Going to take about 15 more seconds for poll number 9. So again, let us know your preferred timing for virtual program. And I do see a couple responses coming in for past polls, and that is totally fine. If you might have missed a couple slides, you're welcome to continue to enter your feedback. If you also know other community members or Macon County Club families who were not able to join us, we are going to have another town hall at 5:30 this evening. And of course, these will be recorded and remain on our Facebook page. So people are welcome to come and answer the polls on their own time, and just leave their responses either in the comment section or in a direct message to us on Facebook. All right, so we have just a couple Q&A questions. Again, these are more open-ended. So the first question is simply asking, what barriers would prevent you from participating in club programming? So if there are any challenges that would prevent you from participating, we would love to know what they are to see if we might be able to provide solutions. Or if you have an idea of how we can help provide solutions, go ahead and enter that as well. But we just want to know if there are any barriers that would prevent you and your children from attending the club and becoming members of the club if you're not already. We're going to give about a minute and a half to respond to this question. So again, we just want to know if there are any barriers that would prevent you from participating in club programming. Go ahead and list those in the comment section. Send us a direct message. And if you have ideas on how we may be able to address that challenge, go ahead and drop that in the comments too. Getting some great responses. Thank you again to everyone for your participation and feedback. This is extremely valuable to us as we determine how to move forward and meet your needs. We're going to give about 30 more seconds to answer the question. Please share any barriers with us in terms of accessing or participating in club programming. We also appreciate any solutions you have in mind. All right, before we move on to the next question, this is the last call to go ahead and enter any perceived barriers to participating in club programming. Just enter them in the comment section or send us a message. All right. And our next question is really just asking, what else would you like to share with us about after-school programming for the 2020-2021 school year? If you feel very strongly about a specific type of program option, go ahead and pop that in the comment section. Let us know. If you have any specific concerns, we'd love to address those too. If you have any outstanding questions, of course, we are certainly here to answer, but anything else you'd like us to know, please go ahead and put that in the comment section. So again, this is really our final question for you all. So if there are any questions you feel that are unanswered, if there are any comments you want to share with us, anything you feel particularly strongly about, please go ahead and put that into the comment section for us. In a moment, we'll also be sure to share our office phone number if you'd like to speak with us directly over the phone. We certainly want to hear your feedback and answer your questions. We've got great comments and feedback rolling in. Please continue to drop those in the comment section. We have not yet determined a date in which we would begin services in Macon County, but we are going to keep you all updated not only on our Facebook, but also on our website. And of course, for our current members of the club, we will also be sure to communicate with you all directly about our final decisions. So we're going to take 30 more seconds for any final questions, comments, or concerns. Of course, when the town hall ends, it does not mean your feedback has to end as well. We are always open and available to receive your feedback. All right, so we are going to begin our closing remarks here in just a few short moments. But if you have any additional questions or comments, again, please call our administrative office at 229-439-0196. Of course, these town halls will be recorded and available for viewing after the live session ends. So if there are people that were not able to join us, please let them know that we are still taking their feedback into consideration. We do have another town hall at 5:30 p.m. this evening. But I just wanted to personally thank everyone for your attendance today. We certainly appreciate you all joining us and giving us your feedback. We know everyone is very, very busy. We appreciate you all taking time out of your schedules.
Hello, everybody. I would just like to thank y'all for participating today. Also, if you know anybody that didn't get a chance to participate today, have them to participate with us at 5:30. But again, thank you guys.
Thanks again, everyone. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to our CEO, Marvin Laster, for final remarks.
Hey, everybody. Again, it's already been said countless times today. Thank you just for entrusting your young people with us. Their safety is our first and number one priority, and the safety of our staff and the communities in which we serve is important to us. As we take this feedback, we want to make sure that we're, one, meeting your needs, two, that we can meet those needs safely, and that three, that we're able to support it in a way that we can sustain it. So I know there's a sense of urgency at school. It's slated to begin in a few weeks, and there may be others in the community that are looking to provide services as well. We don't see that as competition. We see that as our partners, because at the end of the day, we're all about the young people, and anybody that is willing to serve young people, we're willing to join in that cause. Now, we're going to take the feedback that we got from you. We're going to process it, analyze it, make recommendations, reevaluate our plans about what we can do against all of the social distance guidelines and the governor's orders and those kind of things. We will make a recommendation, one to the Board of Managers in Macon County. And I saw that Nicole was from Family Connection was on earlier. But we'll be making recommendations to the Board of Managers there, and then also to our full board of directors here that governs the organization. And so within the next couple of weeks, you will be hearing from us, if not sooner. I predict that it will probably be sooner, but we'll be letting you know how we can best serve. So I like to stay on time. I like to start on time so we can end on time. According to my watch, it is 12:59. We scheduled this for an hour, so God bless and good day.